Tree Books and Harper Audio present Messy Perfect by Tanya Boteju, performed by Ariana Delawari. To all educators and students making our schools safer for everyone, inclusivity is a minimum. Abundance is the goal. Prologue. Ben rearranged my world from the moment he walked into it, when he sat down next to me in the 4th grade and said, "Hi, I'm Ben," with the biggest smile on his face. I didn't know you could just do that, sit next to someone of the opposite gender and introduce yourself like it was nothing. Like you weren't going to look like a weirdo or start rumors that you liked that boy or girl. Before I'd even had a chance to say hi back, he took out his multicolored stationery and started to describe a drawing he'd made, a circle of cartoonish birds in tutus twirling between jagged-looking trees. He explained in one long breath how he danced ballet and how one of the dances he was learning made him feel like a bird sometimes. A lisp presented itself at the end of certain words, but he didn't seem to care. At 9, I'd never met a boy who danced ballet and had a lisp and seemed beyond comfortable talking to girls like this. It didn't feel quite right. And my brain told me this boy was odd, between Catholic church and Catholic school and Catholic immigrant parents. I'd already learned a very specific set of rules and expectations for how to carry myself, and Ben seemed to have a completely different set of rules. But I couldn't pull myself away from his drawing or his chatter, even if I was a little embarrassed by it all at first. Once he'd handed me a lime green pencil from his polka-dotted pencil case, that was it. We were instantly friends, and by 5th and 6th grades, we were even closer friends. We both hung out with other kids, too. Ben was athletic enough that the boys tolerated what set him apart from them. And I forced myself to hang on to a small group of girls who gossiped and giggled over boys at lunch when I'd rather be playing ball hockey with those boys in the parking lot. Some rules were difficult to break at that age, I guess, at least when we were around other people. When we weren't at school, though, we managed to carve out a world separate from all of that. The creek that ran right behind my house and through the school grounds became the center of that world. We used to play there constantly, exploring its waterways and grassy banks, searching for new paths and openings. The water was shallow and slow enough that we could cross on rocks that rose above the stream, or simply slap through it with bare feet or boots. On one side of the creek was the school playground. On the other side were dense bushes and tall, soft grass. Early on, Ben and I were 2 spies, arranged in the thicket like crouching tigers, accompanied by notebooks and pencils. We would hunker down in our favorite hollowed-out space in the brush, the grass cushioning us as we added to our notes. Ben would take out his bright journal and write his sentences in elegant cursive he'd learned from his mom. Not like me, who scribbled in fat, bubbly lettering, so different from the perfect print I used in class, and filled entire pages of my notebook with just 1 or 2 sentences, not caring about how big and ugly it was because no one would see it but me and Ben. And Ben didn't care about my messy writing or the nonsense I wrote, because we both reveled in nonsense back then, making ridiculous observations like, "Becky the duck hates to get his butt wet," and "Pirates have left their rum bottles here and the rum tastes like feet." But as time wore on, our imaginary observations became more tangible. I'd fling a sentence across the page. "The rocks are greener today, slicker."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?